We're live from Bradford Beach on the shores of Lake Michigan. We welcome you to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the crowd is ready. And today, from the bratwurst capital of the United States, it is time to hold the pickles and the lettuce. Get out the mustard and the crump. It's the biggest doggy of them all, the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. But he can do it. Crowd is revved up. Lewis and Stoklos, Hanley, Timmons. A winner's bracket quarterfinal match. Winner moves on into the semifinals. Lewis and Stoklos, the champions of Chicago, against Steve Timmons and John Hanley. First of 2 days of coverage here on NBC. John Hanley in purple with the serve. And down the line goes Randy Stoklos, a side out.
Lewis serving.
Randy Stoklos has been bothered by a recurring back injury this year. He won in Chicago, but then had to miss 2 tournaments. He says he is now 95%. We'll see today. Brian Lewis with the serve. 1 game to 15. Hanley got it.
That's the key to the match right there, I think. John Hanley's ability to receive serve. Tremendous heritage in the sport, 2-time All-American at the University of Hawaii. Had a lot of success early on in his career. The great team of John Hanley and John Stevenson, who is now president of the AVP. Good, solid player.
Go ahead. Come on.
And Stoklos goes right over the top. Randy Stoklos with 116 career titles. He's been a most valuable player on the AVP Tour 3 times. Of course, the celebrated split with St. John Smith after 114 of those wins. Smith the leader with 135. No score.
Go, go. Mine. You got it.
Chance for a point. Lewis. They're allowed to double hit off the block. Stoklos. Bingo.
That's a big physical play by Randy Stoklos. The players on the tour think that Stoklos is the best back set hitter anywhere on the beach. That means a ball that's set 7 or 8 feet off the net really got his team out of trouble that time.
1-0 Lewis and Stoklos. And John Hanley nips one through there. John Hanley coming at you right there. Born December 27, 1960. 32 years old. Played at the University of Hawaii. Won $435,000 to go along with his 18 wins. And he serves it out of bounds. Hanley, normally a very steady player, can play both sides, right and left.
Appeared here in Milwaukee in the finals with Mike Whitmarsh a couple of years ago in 1991. Key for him, though, he's going to get served a lot. The key is he has got to pass the ball accurately off the jump serves of Lewis and Stoklos.
Pretty good pass there. Hanley off the tape. Side out, 1-0 Lewis and Stoklos lead here.
Real dichotomy in personalities between the subculturist Steve Timmons, wants to be known as the Axl Rose right now of volleyball, and John Hanley, who prefers Ross Perot politics. You can see the Harley Davidson paraphernalia, courtesy of Steve Timmons.
His trademark hairdo is growing very quickly.
New trademark.
Go ahead.
Stoklos.
Come on, run.
Hanley has it to tie. Yes.
To be able to make the play defensively, you got to get right up. Look at Hanley recover and then get there in time to rip the ball at Stoklos and convert. Get the dig and then detonate at the end to score.
Timmons in black.
Go ahead. Mine.
And down the line goes Randy Stoklos. Interesting strategy so far. Timmons and Hanley serving that man in red, Randy Stoklos.
I'll tell you why I think they're doing that. I think that Steve Timmons feels that he can block Randy Stoklos. He feels confident that if anybody can shut him down, get his hands consistently on the ball, it's Steve Timmons.
Hanley right on the line. The linesman calling it good. 1-1 early action.
Hanley shot good, side out.
And now Hanley will put the ball in play. He is married to AVP women's star Linda Hanley, who played her collegiate volleyball at UCLA. Looking for volleyball playing offspring from them.
Go ahead. Cut!
Stoklos blocked by Timmons.
It's exactly what I was talking about. Be patient, side out if you're Hanley and Timmons, and then look at Steve Timmons getting over late. Steve Timmons is a very, very smart blocker. He's going to show Randy Stoklos an opening and then take it away.
Go ahead.
And the big blast by Randy Stoklos. 2-1 is our score. Hanley Timmons leading here early. Stoklos teeing off on that one.
Side out, Lewis Stoklos.
And Randy Stoklos positioning himself at the net. Here comes Lewis. Blocked. Stoklos was right there.
Returning the favor. Randy Stoklos voted the best blocker on the Pro Beach Tour many times. There you see, show the shot and take it away. Line there, then he moves his hands out into the corridor and stuffs Hanley.
2-2 as the service error made by Brian Lewis. Key to Lewis and Stoklos, some say, is the serving of Brian Lewis in the white hat and the side out. Timmons to serve. That ball whacked out of bounds. And Randy Stoklos, one of the reasons he was very happy that his back is healed up. It's made his jump serve much more effective. John Hanley whacks it out of bounds, so a point for Brian Lewis, and Randy Stoklos will take a break. Lewis and Stoklos have the lead, and Stoklos leading Hanley and Timmons by a point. AVP Pro Beach Volleyball, the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Great crowd on hand, loud and very knowledgeable.
Well, we've been coming to Milwaukee for a long time, and they know their beach volleyball. It seems everywhere we go, people know their beach volleyball now, whether it's New Jersey, Cape Cod, or in our own backyards in Southern California.
John Hanley's serve out of bounds, so another serving error for Hanley and Timmons. They have not been effective so far.
I'll tell you, I think Hanley and Timmons got to take a little bit off their jump serves. They cannot let Stoklos and Lewis off hook. They got to put pressure on early.
And Hanley does indeed bang it down the line. Steve Timmons is a very underrated setter. He's got good hands.
Well, a lot of people, myself included, questioned how successful Steve Timmons could be out on the beach because of his ball control liabilities. But he said, hey, tough, I can pass the ball well, and he's setting the ball extremely well as he has emerged after a very, very bad start at the beginning of '93.
Timmons, one of the great players of all time in the world. And angle goes Brian Lewis.
Side out.
Lewis and Stoklos lead this one 3-2. Stoklos will serve.
Interesting, of course, the weekend that Randy Stoklos was injured in Manhattan, couldn't play. Lewis played with Timmons, and they did very well at fourth in Manhattan.
Trouble. Free ball, Lewis and Stoklos.
Jump serving starting to pay big dividends already for Lewis and Stoklos. No aces yet, but a lot of forcing jump serves, getting Timmons and Hanley in all kinds of trouble with their side-out game.
Stoklos. Ace! So 3 straight points for Lewis and Stoklos, and now it's 5-2.
Hanley and Timmons ought to take one of their 4 allowed sand timeouts or 20-second timeouts and slow the game down.
And into the net. The jump serve, a very risky proposition, but it can pay dividends. So John Hanley will serve.
I think that's a bad service error by Randy Stoklos. Timmons and Hanley on the ropes. You got to take a little off and keep that ball in the court.
And just too much air on the Hanley jump serve. Another service error for the team of Hanley and Timmons.
4 is a team, 3 for John Hanley.
So Brian Lewis, who has the screwball and the slider.
Spitter and everything else.
Ace! Right down the pipe. 6-2.
So you got to get Stoklos and Lewis out of this good, confident service game early on. You got to concentrate on siding out. You got to keep your own serves in. And here comes the timeout that I was alluding to, coming just maybe a little bit late.
Each team allowed 2 sand timeouts per player, so 4 per team, and 2 regular.
Chris, you were talking about the scroogey, the curveball. I said the spitter, and take your pick. Brian Lewis starts it out at Steve Timmons and then breaks it deep up the middle. Complete husband and wife area. And also we talked about this is only the 3rd tournament together for Steve Timmons and John Hanley. Those are the sorts of gray areas on the court that you work out only with a large number of tournaments under your belt.
Here comes Lewis. 4-point lead for his team.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Nice shot. John Hanley taking something off. Hanley and Timmons got a 7th in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and a 17th in Belmar, New Jersey last week.
I'll tell you, a chance for Brian Lewis to get on this ball. Steve Timmons with a bad set to Hanley. The ball is set way off the net. Brian Lewis with the late break to the ball.
Pressure on Hanley. He's getting most of the serves. Now he'll block at the net.
Line. Good.
Inside the block, Lewis with a kill. Lewis and Stoklos leading 6-2.
Stoklos serving, 6 serving to 2.
Follow Stoklos. And Hanley got tangled up and still puts it away.
It's a joke in basketball when somebody falls for no reason. Would you trip over one of the lines? Of course, they're painted. But that's a real hazard out here on the Pro Beach Tour. 2 players covering the entire court. You got to play with the wind, with the sun, with the ropes.
Stoklos going easily by Steve Timmons.
10 feet off the net and the ball spinning.
Jim Leonard is our first referee, and Timmons questioning the call, or non-call, we should say. There's Leonard. And Lewis will serve. A 4-point lead for Lewis and Stoklos. Ideal day to play volleyball. It's overcast, it's warm, a bit humid, but good for the players.
Hey, it's in the 70s. It's warm enough to be loose, feel very, very comfortable. Wind not a factor.
Stoklos, nicely done.
Stoklos and Lewis are starting to integrate a lot of indoor tactics and maneuvers into the beach game. Quicker sets, movements, fakes. We saw that last week in a losing effort in Belmar, New Jersey.
Randy Stoklos touched the net. You can't do that at any time, and so John Hanley will have it.
Lewis side out, Hanley, Timmons. John
Trailing
Hanley
6-2. Hanley and Timmons here in quarterfinal action. Tournament continuing all along the beach. Final will be tomorrow here on NBC. And Stoklos and Lewis operating perfectly.
Now, Hanley and Timmons have got to make something happen. Try to get on Brian Lewis, match him up against big Steve Timmons in the hitter-blocker formation. But right now, Hanley and Timmons are letting Stoklos and Lewis get too far ahead.
6-2, Lewis and Stoklos lead.
Come on.
Timmons, score it, side out.
Double clutch pokey, really lost his balance. Not a very pretty play, but it went down. And when I alluded to the fact that Stoklos and Lewis getting too big a lead, it allows Stoklos and Lewis to be so confident and so aggressive. Look at Timmons losing his footwork, but still getting the ball down.
Timmons going with a floater, and he'll block.
Come on.
Out of the reach, good placement by Brian Lewis, who now lives in Corona del Mar, California. One of the young superstars on tour, 25 years old.
Randy
Gives the ball to his partner, the captain of the team, Randy Stoklos. 6-2, Stoklos.
Fine.
Another nice shot by John Hanley. Won most of his tournaments with the current AVP president, John Stevenson.
2 serving to 6. John Hanley at the line.
And Hanley will serve.
Good.
drills it. So early, Timmons and Hanley were serving Stoklos. Now they're on Lewis and they trail.
Lewis and Stoklos have not missed a pass or a set yet. Hanley and Timmons have been unable to dent the side-out armor of Lewis and Stoklos at all here today.
Out of bounds. Communication very important in two-man volleyball. Lewis missing there, and Steve Timmons will have it. His best this year, a fourth at Manhattan Beach with Brian Lewis. Go ahead. Stoklos punches it through. Randy Stoklos looking very, very fit today. He's missed 3 tournaments this year, and still he's ranked number 3 on the AVP computer and in money earnings. Said he stopped playing with St. John Smith because we were like a bottle of Coca-Cola. We had lost our fizz. Out!
I think there's more to it than that. I think that he and St. John...
Just telling you what he told me.
Okay, fair enough. But I think that he also wants to go down in history as the winningest player of all time. At least until Ken Steffes comes up and catches him. And I think he really wants to beat St. John Smith's record.
6-2. Lewis and Stoklos are ahead. Come on! Hanley has that one. Can he score it? Yes! The key to this whole series is Hanley and Timmons throw Stoklos and Lewis at 6-2. We're able to side out for a good long period of time, pass the ball, set the ball, and then wait for an opportunity to score and then capitalize. That broke a streak of 4 straight Lewis and Stoklos points. It was tied 2-2. It went to 6-2. So Timmons and his partner John Hanley trying to come back. No easy task about Randy Stoklos and Brian Lewis. Of course, Randy Stoklos playing with St. John Smith, and they won together 114 tournaments. How do you think they've done without each other?
Well, there, that tells the story. St. John Smith averaging a 9th. But moving up now that he's playing with Ricky Lutis, has advanced into semifinals here. Randy Stoklos has advanced only a couple of finals, averaging a 3rd place finish with Brian Lewis.
Crowd trying to rev up the underdogs. Steve Timmons, John Hanley. Stoklos over the top. Challenging Timmons that time.
I think Steve Timmons is late right now blocking on Randy Stoklos. Stoklos started out the game shooting the ball, cutting it down the line, and now Timmons is playing a waiting game. He's got to get up and over the net more quickly, more aggressively.
6 serving 3. And down the line goes Timmons. The greatest mechanic in volleyball, Timmons, with the rev-up job of the crowd.
Well, he knows it, and there is his image, the Axl Rose of volleyball, little skull and crossbones, and his partner, John Hanley, drew it for him.
Chance for a point. Out of bounds. Just missed John Hanley off a pretty good dig.
Side out. Stoklos Lewis. Randy Stoklos serving 6-3.
So Randy Stoklos to serve, his team ahead by 3. Good call, good shot.
Hanley settled down now. Passed the ball, not all that well early in this match, but right now he's steady, and Steve Timmons setting the ball well.
Serving to 6.
John Hanley, his first tournament win back in 1983 at Lake Tahoe.
Yeah. Good. Now, point. Come on!
Timmons. Just out of bounds again.
Real tough chance. This ball is ripped off the top of the block, spinning like crazy. And Hanley does his job. As the backcourt player, you just got to get the ball near the net. Timmons knows he should have scored there. Got to somehow find a way to get that ball to the sand.
Brian Lewis, it appears, is going to change sides this time to work from the right side, clearing the takeoff. 6-3, a 3-point lead for Stoklos and Lewis. Jump picture in this match, Paul. I think you'd agree. The team that gets the next point has a good chance here.
Well, I mentioned earlier that the key to Hanley and Timmons was that they stopped at 6-2 the run of Stoklos and Lewis.
Watch it! Easy, Rick.
Looking for a point. Timmons, yes. Stoklos and Lewis led 6-2, but here comes Steve Timmons and John Hanley. Crowd is in a semi-frenzy. Chris Marlowe along with Paul Sunderland. Steve Timmons has woken up this city. His team trailing 6-2, scored a couple of quick points. Timmons, the most valuable player in the 1984 Olympic Games, a couple of gold medals, the bronze. He may look like Axl Rose, but he's playing like Qtr-final.
Well, he's strumming a pretty good tune either way. He's ripping it right now.
Timmons.
Showing you the array of his wardrobe. First the Harley Davidson and now Red Sand, which is his own brand of beach volleyball wear. He started back in 1985-86, become very successful.
Timmons to serve. His team trailing 6-4 to Lewis and Stoklos. And a little mix-up there, but the mix-up good for a side out. So Randy Stoklos, who never played volleyball until he was 13 years old. As a matter of fact, he has never played either football or baseball growing up. His parents discouraged sports because they thought it would lead nowhere. Timmons puts it away. And John Hanley, who's taken off his shirt, will serve.
John Hanley.
To wonder a little bit about how fresh Hanley and Timmons are. They had a very, very tough match against the Brazilians, Anginho and Loyola, the round before. 15-13. Could be a little tight.
One. Come on!
Little cut shot, and Hanley can't get there. Almost. He had the arm out. Could not quite get there.
When you're playing defense, you're playing center field. Hanley is behind Timmons and just waiting on the cut shot. Gets the ball, not quite high enough for Timmons to make the second play.
6 serving 4. Just about 4.5 minutes remaining in this game as Lewis misses another one. His 4th service error so far.
7 as a team. But Lewis and Stoklos are going to go for it, but they will be forced to serve much more conservatively if they're not siding out as well. You get them out of their passing and setting game.
Timmons down by 2.
Go ahead. Line!
And bossing it down, Randy Stoklos.
Randy
Stoklos will serve.
432.2.
The first man to reach the $1 million mark in prize winnings, followed closely by St. John Smith. And Qtr-final will do the same in this tournament. Ace! $1 million serve.
That's their key to happiness right now. They're just going to keep bombing serves. They have 7 service errors, but as a team, they have 3 aces to offset that.
7-4 is the lead for Stoklos and Lewis. John Hanley back to serve. Hanley and Timmons to repeat. Only their 3rd tournament together ever. This is their best finish by far, or it will be. We're only in day 1 coverage.
They had a 7th earlier in the year, and when Timmons is blocking the ball, Hanley can side out for a long, long time, but they followed that up with a 17th, Chris, which shows you the inconsistency of their pairing.
Good serve, another ace. So dial up another ace for Brian Lewis.
And you got to tell the serving story. 4 aces for Stoklos and Lewis, 8 errors. I take that ratio. 2 errors for every ace. Absolutely.
8-4. Set. And the shot. Where Timmons and Hanley are having trouble is in the husband and wife area of no communication, right in the center of the court.
Well, that hubby-wife area is always very dicey. The bungo straights, deep middle. You've got to talk on that ball early. And somebody, particularly the player cross court's got to be very aggressive with it.
Go ahead. No one!
Stoklos hits it out. Point.
Talking fouls. Point Hanley Timmons. 5, serving to 8.
First unforced error, really, for the team of Lewis and Stoklos. Hanley and Timmons have been earning them.
Timmons digs it out. Lewis all over it to save a point. Big turn right there, Paul. Hanley and Timmons could have gotten to 6.
Oh, should have had it. Should have had it. A free ball coming to Timmons and Hanley, and got some real bad luck getting caught up over underneath the referee stand.
Randy Stoklos coming at you. His team leads 8-5.
Fine! Johnny, come on!
Lewis there.
Line. Out!
And Lewis turning it out of bounds. And not happy with himself.
Side out.
Well, and with good reason. He was all over the line shot from John Hanley. You got to be able to convert. The line in return wide open, and Lewis just shanked the ball out of bounds wide.
Lewis and Stoklos stalling just a bit.
Well, the wind has picked up a little here, Chris, and one of the nylon ropes was bouncing up and down. Stoklos went down, put some sand on it to anchor it down.
Tight set. And Lewis getting it by the big hands of Timmons. 8-5 is our score. Lewis and Stoklos tied at 2-2 early, scored 4 in a row, led 6-2, and now lead 8-5 in control. Nice dig. Stoklos can't get there. Oh! Over the rail.
Off on court 2. Court 2.
And Randy Stoklos hit the courtside banners very, very hard. Those are not little flimsy plastic banners. Those are mechanical device, and that is a very, very tough spot to land.
Let's hope he's not hurt. Let's hope he landed on. Oh, good. He did not land on anybody. It appears to be okay. Nice hustle.
Stoklos knows this is a crucial juncture in the match. They missed a couple of point-scoring opportunities. Now, Randy's used to the very soft nylon banners on the sidelines. Well, that's like hitting a brick wall. And Stoklos hit it hard and went down very hard.
Nice hand for him.
Stoklos runs about 6'4", 225, so that fan in row 1 got a treat. The runaway train, 8-5. Timmons and Hanley trying to come back. The thrill of their life here in Milwaukee. Stokey coming at you. Ace for Timmons.
Ace for Steve Timmons.
Husband and wife back at you right up the middle. Stoklos came back after that valiant try. The crowd gives him a nice hand. Who's going to take advantage of that momentum? And Timmons shut it right up.
And Timmons, the ensuing serve is into the net. A 2-point lead now for Lewis and Stoklos.
Hard to imagine that Steve Timmons came within an eyelash of not making the '84 Olympic volleyball team. What has transpired since then? One of the greatest players of all time, and came very close to not making that team at all.
Timmons going to get a spiking opportunity. And he whacks it out of bounds. So, pretty good strategy by Lewis and Stoklos. A surprise serve to Timmons. And a timeout called on the side change. Stoklos and Lewis here just jumped over. And then on the far side, a different kind of barrier that the AVP has been used to be playing with, at least a little earlier, a little flimsier kind.
That first one like running into the heretofore Berlin Wall. I'll tell you, Stokey giving it 100%. Very lucky that he was not injured, because those banners, unlike the flimsy plastic kind, are going nowhere.
9-6 is our score. Randy Stoklos, Brian Lewis have the lead on John Hanley and Steve Timmons. Quarterfinal action, just one of many matches today. First day coverage to the final will be coming up tomorrow.
Rogers and Smith on Gino and Loyola.
And John Hanley will serve. Hanley, who now lives in Pacific Palisades, California. And Stoklos chopping inside.
Randy Stoklos picked Brian Lewis to be his partner because Brian Lewis can really set the ball. Randy Stoklos wanted somebody that could just dish the ball to him perfectly each and every time.
Here comes Lewis with a 3-point lead. Stoklos has it. And
scores. Example right there, Brian Lewis, 15, 18, 20 feet off the net, just dishing it, as we call it, setting the ball off the dig from Stoklos into perfect position for the point scoring opportunity and conversion.
Brian Lewis with the serve. It's a 10-6 lead. And the put away. We have received a report from the beach doctor that Stoklos did indeed bruise his shoulder. It's his left shoulder. And they say it will not affect his spiking. Didn't affect his digging much because he got that last one up with the left.
Doing a lot of fake blocking right now. Randy Stoklos, a good defensive player. We just don't see it very often because he's always up there blocking.
Lewis looking very smooth on the right side. Brian Lewis, his idol, he has stated many times his desire to play with Randy Stoklos. And when he became available after the split from St. John Smith, Lewis was right in there, and happily so. John Hanley whipping it through. Hanley and Timmons playing fairly consistently, but just not quite as well as Lewis and Stoklos.
Well, they had a couple of point scoring opportunities early that they blew. And they need to score a couple of points in a row to really put some pressure on Stoklos and Lewis. That's when you get to Stoklos and Lewis as the game tightens up.
Straight up. Trouble. Timmons. Stokey has it. Go! That's Stoklos. He got a break.
Earned it the first time by chasing down the pokey from Steve Timmons. Timmons has got to take control of that play. Stokey chases, and then Lewis once again setting the ball so well. And then Stoklos does indeed get very lucky.
Stoklos at the net. His team ahead by 4. Hanley in there. That ball in, says Jim Leonard and the linesperson. That was a close one.
Oh, tantalizingly close. Hanley hitting the ball completely the opposite direction of backcourt defender Brian Lewis. The ball was in the air a long, long time and just caught the rope.
Wind is picked up, and Hanley starting to huff and puff just a bit. If there's an edge in conditioning, definitely to Stoklos and Lewis. Brian Lewis feeling very confident, hitting away.
And I think they're the fresher team right now. I think Hanley and Timmons are fatigued right now. Again, that tough earlier round match against the Brazilians and Gino and Loyola that they won 15-13. That took a lot out of them earlier today.
10-6 score remains. Timmons got it. Now, if you're wondering about John Hanley, in his spare time, he builds million-dollar houses. So he doesn't train full-time. He is working out, but he is not as diligent as he was in the 80s when he was winning tournaments. And so he shouldn't be in the same shape as Lewis and Stoklos.
Well, I hear the profit margin on million-dollar houses is pretty good, so he's got his time management is A-OK.
Hanley McCartney Construction Company. In case you have $1 million house. Lewis again. Timmons unable to stop Lewis.
The key, you pass the ball perfectly to the net. That opens up all the opportunities to side out easily.
So Brian Lewis, who watched indoor volleyball at the 1984 Olympic Games in 1984. So he got interested. And the ball hit out of bounds. So Hanley getting served and laboring just a bit. It is now 11-6.
Stoklos and Lewis are going to keep the pressure squarely on John Hanley. Watch for the husband-wife area here, otherwise to John Hanley down the line.
Good pass. Looking for a point. Off Timmons.
They need a timeout. Timmons and Hanley in deep trouble right now. Stoklos and Lewis have settled down. They're jump serving extremely well. And John Hanley can no longer find a way to side out. Look at how hard Lewis hit the ball. Knocked Timmons right off the net.
Don't forget, tomorrow we will have foot action, the NFL Quarterback Challenge. That will be tomorrow starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Some of the great quarterbacks in the game. doing their thing. And then the best action on the beach, part of NBC Sports World. That will be 5 o'clock Eastern time, as we expect to see Qtr-final and Kent Steffes in that championship final, perhaps against one of these two teams.
Or if you like St. John Smith, he and new partner Ricky Ludes have advanced into the semifinals and are playing very well.
Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland with you. The Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Randy Stoklos, who won in Chicago along with Brian Lewis. They have a big lead over John Hanley and Steve Timmons, 12-6. Hanley trying to hang on here. Mike! Blocked by Stoklos.
Working John Hanley right now. Maybe out of gas, just cannot find a solution to get the ball either past Randy Stoklos or by the defense of Brian Lewis.
5 in a row for Stoklos and Lewis from 8-6. Another ace! Louis dialing it up down the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the turn. 14-6 is our score.
Lewis and Stoklos have a big lead and are in command here in Milwaukee. While we're away, Randy Stoklos checking out his injured arm. It's a big one.
Well, that wedding party, they were watching the show and they saw Stoklos go into the banner. They said, we got to move the party down to the beach and find out how Stoklos is doing.
1 point away from celebration and movement into the quarterfinals. Timmons, and he puts it away. Lewis and Stoklos led 8-6, and then turned on the Jets and scored 6 straight. That's where we stand right now, 14-6.
Well, and as we talked about at the beginning of the match, the key is serving. You've got to get Stoklos and Lewis out of their confident game early. You got to keep the serves in. You got to block them. You've got to get on Brian Lewis if you can. Then Stoklos and Lewis will not go back with the same reckless abandon.
Game point number 2. Stoklos, the errant toss. Now he must serve this ball no matter where he throws it. Nice serve. Timmons. The clock could be a factor. 1 minute, 41 seconds to go in this one. However, Lewis and Stoklos leading 14-6. Hanley and Timmons need a miracle. Nice shot. Off the hands of Timmons.
Clock only runs. Well, the ball is in play. Lewis back to serve once again for the match.
3rd game point for Brian Lewis. Looking for an ace or a Stoklos block. This could be it. Stoklos for the win. Not yet. Now. Brian Lewis and Randy Stoklos advance over Steve Timmons and John Hanley. After leading 8-6, they score 7 in a row to close it out. 15-6, and they are in our semifinal, and a threat